They said, just go. I don't feel comfortable like doing this on camera anymore because I feel like I've done this so much. However, I'm cleaning my space. I wanted to do a reading for you guys. I don't know if I still will. There is a mouse somewhere in this vicinity, and mice are actually very clean, tidy little creatures, and they're very loving and very sweet, and they like to nest and all that. But it's interesting because I feel like spirit has been like trying to tell me certain things for so long, and I just keep trying to control the narrative. And the truth is, I'm broken. They're like, you can say it. I'm like, I am. And I don't like to show my vulnerability all the time to you guys because Baba just went running past. Because it's number one, it's not easy, and number two, we all have our own shit right now. I mean, I'm not like special. Like, we're all going through stuff. This is very real. So you're not alone, and yeah, but the broken is good because it means that something better is coming. Oh my God, my heart chakra is like feels like it's got like an X, like a wrought iron X over it. Like it doesn't want me to show my vulnerability or my sadness. But I am sad, and I feel really messed up. And there's so much shit that I've been saying to my partner that I realize is like so obviously to myself. Thank you, goddess energy. And it's just been really hard. just I'm just fucking tired, man. I'm fucking tired. I've spent 50 years of my life like trying so hard to like fit in, and now I'm trying so hard to figure out who and what the fuck I am and like what my purpose is anymore. Um and my partner's like telling me things they need and talking to me about things, but like I'm just not listening. And I saw something recently with this so-called like empath expert. She's pretty amazing, so I would say she's probably closest to an expert as we have. She's been studying it for decades. I forget her name, but anyway, she said two empaths together is almost impossible. But there's also this empath narcissist thing. And I started to realize that, like, she said something. It was if I can find it, I'll put the link below, but it was, look in the comments. But Maria Minus, Minos. I feel like I know her name, but I'm not pronouncing it correctly. She's Greek, I believe. Anyway, so I apologize if I'm saying it wrong, but she was saying something about her and her husband being both empaths, and then this doctor was like, she actually was a psychologist who started studying empathic energy, and she has a famous book out. I want to say Lori something. Um, but she said it's almost impossible because you've got two super hypersensitive beings. You need someone, as your counterpart. It would be helpful if they're a little more, little less sensitive, just because then they can, they have enough empathy where they can help you, but they like not so much that like you're both just like, babbling brooks all the time, right? But then she spoke about the narcissist empath relationship, and I realized why Alder and I struggle so much is that we're both narcissists and we're both empaths. And what she said yesterday, that like as she said, most empaths are narcissistic. She's like, but not in the way that um, you would think, like in like terms of like, you know, hurting people or whatever. She's like, they have to take good care of themselves because their sensitivity levels are so much more heightened than other people, so they have to be really mindful of their boundaries and their energy and things like that. So she said that absolutely comes off narcissistic, and I thought that's so true, because my family's told me for years, they're like, you're such a narcissist, and I'm like, and then I realized I was just like, I couldn't handle energy. I couldn't handle sounds. I couldn't handle smells. I couldn't, there were just certain things, especially like the last few times I went home, home to Chicago, and like family and friends and stuff. It's like, I just realized how much I was triggered just by so many things. Like one of the weddings I went to, I just like broke down hysterically at the wedding, like broke down hysterically at the table when everybody was eating. Thank God my sister stuck me with the kids at the kids' table, which I felt like there was some irony there. Kind of the kids' table. It was actually the my brother-in-law's brother, who was also, you know, an outcast in the family at the time. So we were put at our own table, and he has a big family with a lot of kids, and he and his wife, and they're awesome. You know, we actually had a really good time, and I brought their cousin as my date because even though I was with Alder at the time, he wasn't with me, so I brought her as my date because she was really close to everybody, and you can only have so many people. So one of my best friends growing up was my brother-in-law's first cousin. So it kind of worked out. And we were in the back, like we were just like shoved back in a corner. It was so obvious, like that they wanted us as far away from them as possible. It was, wow, like just interesting. So passive aggressive, but or maybe just boundaries for their survival. But I felt it was very passive aggressive, but whatever, is what it is. And I just started to realize that when I was there, just the pain and the suffering when we were all in this room together. I knew all of these people so well, except for his side of the family, which you can tell there was like some weird stuff going on too, because it was my niece and her now husband. So it was just so fucking crazy. And I just cried because there was so much pain and suffering and agony and needless pain and suffering. And just, it was just the anger and resentment. There was just so many things in this room that were just took me over. And so today I realized, I'm like, I'm still breaking down so many barriers and boundaries for myself. I'm doing my damnedest to stay afloat, but I really don't know who the fuck I am right now. And so Alder and I have taken a little break, and he's staying on the property, but we're just like, you know, not really spending time together. And, you know, it's been like 3 days, and I feel like it's like the 7 stages of death. And every time we do this, I feel like I have this kind of like, you know, breakdown, which brings me to a breakthrough, because, you know, Spirit's like, there's nothing wrong with admitting that you're broken, because Spirit's going to put you back together in front of the people who broke you, you know. And I really believe that. And I feel that right now as I speak to you. I feel very strongly that, you know, blessed new moon in Virgo, like when I'm doing this, it's September 15th. Mercury just went direct, thank goddess. And I think we're all going to start feeling it a little bit better. But, you know, once retrograde season ends, we're only going to have a little bit of a breather, and then we're going to go into eclipse season. So gird your loins, mind your energy, try not to put too much of yourself out there. I mean, self-care September is real. I mean, go through it, go through all of it. You know, I wanted to sit down and do this reading for you guys. Maybe I will, I don't know. But I was so angry with this mouse. I was starting to feel like I was losing my fucking mind, because it came out of nowhere. It was like 1 minute, it was like we had no critters, nothing. Next thing I know, I hear this scratching like a week ago, and now it's been like where I'm like ripping the walls out because I'm like, I feel like a fucking crazy person. But it's like I needed to see that, like, you know, I don't know if we told you guys this or not. I don't know if you remember, but the RV that we're living in, we actually kind of tacked it on to our package of the buying the house. So we're going to gut it and turn it into a suite, an away suite. I don't think an Airbnb, but it's something like that, you know, so people can come and stay on the property and heal. It'll be a donation basis, you know, like kind of thing. But it's interesting because I've been feeling like antsy, like I want to start, you know, doing things. And during Mercury retrograde, I gave myself the worst haircut I've had in a really long time. Don't get me started. Um, yeah, I'll fix it. I was waiting for after. Never cut your hair when you're upset. And I was like, I thought I was okay, but I wasn't. Like, clearly, I've been like slowly like unpacking and unraveling everything that's been happening over the last like 50 years and really getting to the bottom of things, really getting in there, working with my shadow. And I'm glad that this mouse made me a little crazy because number one, I needed like to get some aggression out, and it was nice to start ripping things out. It felt so fucking good. But also, I pulled back this one paneling and I had a feeling that there was mold in here, and there is. It's not as bad as I thought, thank goddess, but it is. And so I was like, you know, spraying lavender on it, you know, and trying to get the bacteria and all that. But, you know, also it's about a really good cleaning. And no matter where you live right now, we're about to change seasons. We're at the last week of the last season, whether it's summer or winter, depending on your hemisphere, and going into fall or spring. Either way, it's always a good time for a cleaning, right? To get rid of the things that you don't need. And I feel like spiritually, that's what Spirit's asking us to do. So for this new moon in Virgo, when you set your intentions, when you start putting your manifestations out into the universe, ask Spirit in meditation, get quiet, find out who you are and what do you want. All of these songs were playing like one after the other, that they basically, in summation, was Spirit saying, what do you want now? I know what you wanted then. Like, I've manifested this, I've made it happen. But, you know, recently Alder's like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. He's like, it's just too much. It's just too much. We've just taken on too much. And I was like, okay. I'm like, so, you know, that's why we needed to take a break, because I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, and then all I thought was like, I did not fucking get this far or work this hard to just get this far and not keep going. I'm so fucking close to like my dream happening that I'm like, I can't give it up, you know? So I was like, I'll do what I have to fucking do to keep this place myself if I have to. Like, I just feel that strong of a pull. So, but I don't know, because when Spirit said, what do you want? I feel like this moon cycle, this moon in Virgo, because, you know, Libra is going to come in next week. And right now we're in full earth energy of the moon and Virgo season. But while we're, you know, in this, what's there to ponder, Zoolander, while we're in this pondering stage, you know, really ask yourself, like, what do you want? And what do you need? You know what I mean? Like, what do you want and what do you need? And when you're, you know, and not so simple, like, you know, um, I want a car, or like, I want a Maserati. That's awesome. I'm not saying that you're not going to get a Maserati, or you're not going to, like, you know, whatever. But it's like, this is real. This is, and I'm not saying that's not real, but you know what I'm saying? This is about like, where are you now? Where are you going? You know, but right now it's about being in the moment. And it's been so difficult for me to be in the moment because I'm, as a triple fire, and my moon is water. I just want to go, 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 go. And that is not always healthy for me. Also, I think I'm just being passionate, and my partner is like, don't yell at me. I'm like, I'm not yelling. I'm just like, I'm really passionate about this right now, you know? And they just like shut down. And so I was realizing like all these things that I still need to work on myself, and just my control issues, just how deep the fucking programming goes. If you haven't watched my last Tallulah talk about poverty consciousness, I highly recommend you check it out. You know, recently someone posted and said, you know, you're so all over the place and blah, 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 blah. And I, at first I was really upset, because I was upset at the time when I read it. And and then I just responded, I'm just not your flavor, man. Like, no worries. Like, you know what? It's all good. Like, it's frustrating when people come on my page and try to reprimand me, it feels like, or they're like, you know, you're not successful because you're not doing X, Y, and Z. And I was like, trust me when I tell you, that when it's time for me to, if and when it's time for me to have some type of glow up on my YouTube channels, it will happen when it's meant to, not a second before I'm ready. And, you know, so I actually just ended up just fucking blocking them. And just because I thought, you know, I went to their page. I always go, when someone, you know, comes on my page and says something, I always go to their page to see who they are. And usually I can get a vibe right away. You know, I'm like a human bullshit barometer, so I can kind of tell right away what's going on, but not always. And so anyway, I was like, dude, I am so not for you. Like, we're not even in the same dimension. You know what I mean? Like, we're not even in the same dimension right now. And right now, I'm in so many dimensions. I just want to make sure. I don't know where I am with time. I'm in multiple dimensions. Last night was the first time in a really long time where Spirit had me smoke a lot of weed before I went to bed. And I went from looking out the window and being like, oh, and like the stars were so magical last night. Like, we have this one window at the back of the RV, like the whole wall is like is glass, and it's really beautiful, like exactly where it is. The stars are amazing. And I was like talking to the spirits, and I was talking to the stars, and talking to our brothers and sisters in space, you know, whatever that means, right? Space, the outer verse. And then I fell asleep. And I know, like, I woke up this morning and I know I was somewhere, but like, I feel like Spirit was like, you need a break. And I'll tell you, I woke up this morning and Bubba slept with me last night. It was so nice just to have her curled up with me. She has the last few nights that he's been gone. It's actually been really nice. And then this morning she came up and she like climbed on top of me and like gave me a kiss, and it was so cute. And I swear I felt more calm than I've felt in a really long time. Also, I don't know if you guys know Mayim Bialik. I think you say it, Bialik. She played Amy Farrah Fowler and in Big Bang Theory. I love her. And she was Blossom when we were kids, for those of you who grew up with her. Um, but she did something really amazing for herself, and it's on her YouTube channel if you want to go check it out. So if Spirit calls me to, I'll put a link to that too. But she spoke about going off the grid, like really going off the grid for 2 weeks, and just like how the end of it, she didn't want to ever see her phone again. And I was like, I know, like I've done that. And I told Alder, I'm like, it's been a long time. I'd said this actually a month ago. I've been so present for like a year, over a year, like super present. I've had moments where I've, you know, turned off my phone here and there, but like on a continual basis, I've been pretty much like just working on my channels, working on, you know, this manifestation, you know, working on the place that we're living on, working on my relationships, working on myself. I mean, it's just been, look at how myself was last. Look how I spoke of myself last. That's the fucking problem. That's why that's the issue, not the problem, but that's the issue that I'm having right now, is that I'm broken. But that's okay, because it just means that now because I don't know, you know, what's that old saying? When you don't know what to do, do nothing. There's a reason for that. So I've just been doing things like cleaning my house and cooking. I've been doing a lot of cooking. That's been really fun for me. Lots of soups already this year, and getting creative with my food again, hitting up the farmers markets, working with herbs and all that good stuff. I don't know if you can hear the mouse. You can hear the birds, but anyway. But the distractions of nature are better for me than the distractions of this. And it's even getting more amped up. You know, it's just getting amped up all over the place, because people get really excited when this time of year happens, you know, because it's a lot of holidays coming up and it's the end of the year and all that. Sorry, I should blow my nose. I just did all that crying. But anyway, just take it at your pace. That's the one thing I can say. Just take it at your pace. Work with the goddess. Next month we have a Friday the 13th. We have a Freya. We have a 13th Goddess Day. The last time we had that was in January, and we worked with the goddess deck Shekinah, and I've just been getting, like, Spirit's been pulling me back to some work that I did last year. I'm revisiting a lot of different things. So I don't know what's going to happen with my channels, or me, or him, or what, but you know, maybe this is a manifestation that I put out into the universe, And now that it's here, I don't want it anymore. That happens. I went to school for fashion design. I love fashion design. And I mean, it's a huge part of me. It will always be a part of me. Fashion will always be a part of me. But at the same time, it's like, there's a lot of people who go to college for things and don't actually do that field. I don't regret a second of it. I love it. I'm so glad I went to school and had that experience. I'm so glad that, even though I dropped out before, like, I was almost done and people are like, why? I'm like, because I don't need a fucking degree. I went as far as I felt like I needed to go and wanted to go. And I felt very successful in everything that I did there. So, one person's version of being done and your version of being done are not always the same. My family was always like, you never finish anything. You never finish anything. I'm like, I learned what I needed to, or I couldn't stay there any longer. It's like, but they wanted me to go and go and go and push and push and push. And I'm like, I'm not like you. I'm not like you. We're not like everybody else. If you found yourself here, you're probably very empathic and sensitive. You know, um, we just have to go at our own speed and our own pace right now, whatever that is for you and for me. So I send you love. I send you good prayers and energy. I send you guys Reiki healing, energy healing. I send you love, 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 love. I invoke the power of Reiki healing energy into my mind, body, and soul, and I send it to you as well. All you have to say is, I receive this energy. You don't have to take it. Just say, I receive this energy. Breathe in and out, whatever feels good to you. And whenever you're feeling sad, and whenever you're feeling like you just can't do it, take a break. I'm sending it to you. Take a break. An hour, a day, a week, a month. I knew somebody once, an old friend of mine, she literally checked herself into a psych ward. And she told me, she's like, I'm not crazy. I just needed a fucking break. I was like, dude, that's a bit traumatic. She's like, you don't know my life. Like, you don't know. And I didn't know, 3 children, still living at home, a special needs child. I think her one child at that point had been, maybe 2 of them were gone. I don't remember, out of the house, but doesn't matter. Meta, right? Work, family, special needs child. It's a lot. She's overwhelmed. She did what she had to do. I didn't judge her for it. You gotta do what you gotta fucking do. So I've got 5 more minutes. I'm sending you a little more Reiki. I don't want you to have to do something so extreme. Just set your boundaries. Research the new moon in Virgo energy. I did some shorts with the archetypes deck for the magical medium, so I don't know when I'm going to post them, but look out for them. And yeah, I don't know if they're going to have me do any more readings today. I am cleaning my altar and cleaning my space, so I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen. But either way, I hope this message finds you today well, happy, healthy. Also, if it's any, for any of those of you who feel called, I can really feel that you're pushing back the healing. Take the healing. You deserve it. Say, I deserve this healing. I deserve love. I deserve love. I am lovable. I am lovable. I am magic. I am a miracle. I believe in magic and miracles. I know the darkness. Go through it. Go through it. You saw me. I was going through it, but then look, I worked through it right in front of your face. I worked through it. So the other day, this beautiful vulture came into my orbit, like flew over me, where I was like, what the fuck? And flew up into the tree and looked at me. And I research vulture spirit animal. And they are actually very revered in a lot of spiritual cultures, where they would bring their shamans up to the altar and lay their body there for the vultures to eat. It was considered like a passage to the other side. Think about it. They don't eat live things. They eat dead things. Something has to, eat the decay and process it. So work with the vulture spirit medicine so you can release everything that doesn't serve you anymore. And now you can go into this new moon cycle with a brand new outlook. And if you don't know who you are, that's okay. Because you know what? You're going to figure it out. I don't know if you saw, but on the Magical Medium, Spirit had me do one of those things where it's just like screenshots they have me take, and there's like messages in there. So go check that out, the latest one. But there was something that I got recently about the hold on, what do I got? Okay, where it was, I don't know if you guys have heard of Luke Mind Power. I think that's what, or Luke, something like that. But I love their stuff, and they're very powerful. And they they talked about, shit, now it just left my mind. I guess it wasn't meant to be. Hold on. Okay, you there? Okay. So he said something about people are going to judge you, make fun of you, and blah, blah, blah. Do it anyway. Even if you think it's the best thing in the world. And if they do, who fucking cares? That's on them. You know, this is really your shot. This is your show, and you can do whatever you want with it. We've just been programmed so deeply, and everyone's saying the same things, but it's very, 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 very true. We must think of our brains as like a computer, and you have to rewire, you know, we have to do some rewiring so that we can achieve the goals and the outcome that we want. Also, how much time do I got? Okay. I saw this other thing recently with empaths, and they said that a lot of empaths get blocked because of fear. And fear has been the one for me. I started to see patterns in my partner from the past, and I freaked the fuck out. I blew things way out of proportion, and because of my fear, because I'm like, I can't go through that again, dude. I'm not going through that again. I'm not going through that. He's like, it's not. He's like, he's like, yeah, I can see where you think that. And I'm like, but I'm like, I just like freaked out. And I realized that it's the fear has been blocking me from like the downloads, the correct downloads. And then I just got like lost in this fear bubble. So I've been going out in public more. And when you go out in public, you have to be really mindful. So smudge yourself, smudge your house, you know, rid yourself of that. When there's a nice windstorm, go stand outside and put your body, just let the wind, picture all of that energy like flying off of you, you know, or a rain, same thing. Go take a shower, a bath, washing that energy off of you. Okay. I think that's it. If anything else comes up, I can hear the mouse. Can you hear him? Cry, let it out. Be who you are. You're so beautiful. I'm so beautiful. We're just a little broken. But what's that song from Pink? We're broke, but we're not. Oh, somebody give me the lyrics below. Something about. Anyway, if you know that Pink song, feel free to put a link below in the comments. But it's something about we're just broken. Hold on. We're not broken, just bent, and we can learn to love again. Until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other. I love you. Bye. Ooh, I had more time. Anyway, I love you. Bye.